All right, Coyote Nation, we are back for episode number 4 of the Stat Show following a Week 5 nail-biting loss to Melissa. But first and foremost, we are brought to you by Farmers Bank and Trust. Got to see those dudes at the game. They showed up to the coaches show. They're kind of starting to pop up everywhere. I feel like we run into them in the community. Really, really good staff over at Farmers Bank and Trust. So if you've got any banking needs, go hit them up. Whether it's business banking or personal banking, they are the people to go to for all of that here in Anna, in my opinion. And so with that being said, I'm Blake Rundy.
I am Phil Morgan, and I would agree. I don't know. Nail biting. There are a lot of other words I might use. I don't know. Nail biting is of course, we get an opportunity late drive to maybe win that game. And it's the second. I mean, here we are, second year again, in that same position. It's tough. It's a hard one. I think I think the sentiment is the same. I talked to a lot of kids about, this, that, and the other thing, stats and other stuff. And the reality is, when it's all said and done, the score is the score. And, there's no moral victories. It's just learn and grow. That's last night. It's learn and grow, right? Learn and grow. And if you can't learn from it, you're just going to die. Well, competitively, you'll die.
Yeah. Part of what I talked to a couple of the kids about, and I'm sure you and I had some similar conversations as we kind of spread out and went out and about, and we're talking to some kids, and one of the things I told them is hey, this is kind of an inflection moment on the season. Right, you can take this and use it to motivate you and get better and work like dogs in practice and say this is never going to happen to us again.
Yep.
Like that state championship squad did when we lost to Salina a couple of years ago.
Which is really important for people to remember. Like, we didn't have an undefeated season.
Yeah.
Right? We had a mar on the season. Like, adversity does something to people.
The pressure can either create a diamond or it can crumble you
or cook you,
right? It's right. But it's gonna do one of those two things, and so it's that inflection moment, and so it's saying we get to kind of see the response now in the coming weeks, from our team going forward, and so this isn't like doom and gloom. Oh, just everything is over. Like no, we had some really bright moments, and we had some moments where it's like very clear of hey, we need to improve in some of these areas, and we'll touch on some of those. So I walked away having those conversations like, hey, it's your response moment. Does this turn you into a dog for the rest of the season, or do you run away and cower and say the season's over?
Are you cooked?
Because as a competitor, you always want to win every game.
Yeah.
You and I are both pretty competitive people. We don't like to lose.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose.
Yeah, you should have heard the conversations off camera. They're very different off camera sometimes, but the reason is because some of these emotions are raw.
Yeah.
It's why we don't do very many videos after losses, because it's emotions are raw, and in that moment, like I have the advantage of a couple more years than these guys.
Yes.
I'll leave it at that.
Yes.
I have a way to measure my words where these young men don't necessarily have a way to measure their words, and I'm not going to put them in a position to ever make themselves look bad. I know there's other people out there doing interviews, and maybe we'll change our mind, but man, after a tough loss like that, it just seems like give these guys the opportunity to place this where it needs to be. Mm-hmm. Am I going to use it to like develop into the dog I need to be, or am I going to get cooked by this?
Yeah,
I think
100%.
that's a great point.
And then kind of my other parting message to some of those guys last night was, it's not what happens in a game on September 26th. It's what happens on the game on December 21st.
Yeah,
I think is the date of what would be a state championship game, and so it's people will remember what happens in November and December. Not as much what happens in September.
Yeah, the idea here is district play seeds you.
Yes.
And you get a high enough seed, you make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line.
Yes.
Oh boy, the loss is a loss, and it's going to sit for a little bit.
And it should sting. If you're a competitive person, a loss is going to sting, and you're going to say, "I want to get better."
Yeah, but I'm
not okay with it.
How do you react? Like, what's today look like for you after a loss? If you are out there doing your thing, what are you looking at film? Are you thinking about your next workout? Are you looking at calling your guys and being like, hey, this is what we got to do. This is obvious, and we need to fix this, and we need to do this, and are you being coachable today? Those are the questions you always ask. Now, I know our coaches, right, and I feel like they know, and it's very clear. For me, it was hard to watch the heads kind of drooped and shoulders sagging.
No more of that this year.
Right? Not again. Like, I get it. Like, you put yourself out there, and it was a hard loss. You had an opportunity to maybe win that game in the end, and we didn't get it done. But it's not over. It's not done. Like, my prediction is we see him again.
I'd love that.
Yeah, man.
I would love it.
It's an opportunity.
You always want another shot.
Yeah,
you always want another
opportunity
shot.
for more. Like, for something even bigger, So that's why this week I gave a devotion, and I know we're talking a lot on the upfront of this because I think there's a lot we're still processing as fans.
By the way, like we're recording this the morning after the game, so this is you're seeing kind of live some of our processing. So this will come out a little bit later.
Yeah, maybe Sunday night, hopefully.
Sunday night. But we're recording this. It's 9:31 a.m. on Saturday morning after the game. So for like behind the scenes. This is us processing off camera, on camera a little bit, and so that's part of being a fan and part of what you do as a talking head in media.
Yeah. This week going into the game, had an opportunity to address the team, and I just said, I used a verse where it talks about being hard pressed, right? And yet we're not destroyed, we're not perplexed, we're not, we're not defeated. Like that's the attitude we got to have. That idea of being hard pressed, I told him, is the process, or the idea carries the words or the weight of literally pressing grapes into something more valuable. It's taking something that is in and of itself, it has value, right?
Yeah.
But making it achieve its greatest value. It's pulling out something that's far more valuable. This is one of those moments. It's going to pull out something far more valuable.
There's a reason a bottle of wine goes for more than a bag of grapes.
Right. That's the point.
Just yeah.
And that is the point. These pressures, these moments, they're going to create something in these guys. My hope, my prayer for them is that it creates more competitive, more disciplined, right? It creates kids who are going to look back and self-evaluate and say, you know what, I'm not going as hard as I should in practice, or I'm not doing this, or I'm taking reps off, or I'm skipping the line, I'm not hitting the line, and I'm going to start hitting the line, and raise their level of expectation for themselves.
Saying everything's going to be the RBJ route in practice. Yeah. The Ronald Bell Jr., right?
Yep.
The sprint speed records that RBJ would set in practice, of not because he was always the fastest sprinter in practice, because he would sprint the most. He just wouldn't stop. He wouldn't take a route off. Yep. and Chumley, and that's the mindset you got to have. Dogs like C.J. Miller and Grayson. Like BJ, Abram, like
guys, there's a reason we mentioned them last show. We're mentioning them again because these are standard setters for the program.
Yes.
They're guys who were a part of a championship team, so they understand the championship mindset. They know the sacrifice. They know the work that has to go into it. Mentally as much as physically. It's a both and situation to become a champion.
Yes. And it wasn't just so we referenced the Salina loss, right? It wasn't just that loss motivated them for the next week. It motivated them for the rest of the season, right? Everything was a motivation point going there forward. And so it's not just yes, how do you respond today as you go watch film, as you get treatment, as you hit the weight room to get some of that soreness out, as you, whatever it might be in this, but does that motivation stay when you start beating up on some of the lower level teams in our district?
Yeah.
Because there's just, not to throw shade at other teams, but every district has teams that are the bottom feeders.
Yeah.
They're going to end up at the bottom of the district.
Yep.
And so how are you going to respond when you start getting some of those wins and it's oh yeah, now we got our, 72-12 win. Do you still respond with the same motivation after a Melissa loss as a 60-point victory and say the goal is the goal? The goal is not to win by 60 tonight. The goal is to win in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Friday after Thanksgiving.
It's to keep playing games. That's the idea. The idea is to keep playing games, and I think coaches coaching to that end. Of course, there's always the Facebook coaches who come out, an hour after the game, and
There's a reason our coaching staff is getting paid, and they are not getting paid to coach the game.
They're yelling from the stands, and
there's a reason I'm not getting paid to coach the game too.
Right.
So there's a reason I don't post on Facebook.
Yeah, our commentary is
ever.
Just, our commentary is just our commentary, right? It's just it is what it is. Like this is the role we have. But look, it was a loss. You know, we say it. Yeah. Of course, I had a lot of text messages through the game. Like it was funny. Like they're like, we need more seats over here. Our stands are full. And I sent them a picture. I'm like, no, your stands aren't full. There's still empty seats.
Yep.
For all that big stadium, you know, you come here and complain about the little stadium, and yet your seats aren't even full.
You didn't fill a 1,000-seat side.
No. So I don't want to hear that noise. But that's one thing that I hope that we get to see soon. I hope we get to see that we step up to some of the same level of, I'm trying to think of the best word for it, accommodations.
What is the background of this image?
Right, accommodations that are in our district, and I hope we get there. I think it's important.
I'll say it. We need a new stadium, not just for the football team, but it helps out the band. It helps out cheer. It helps out pep squad. It helps out soccer. It helps out our AV department. It helps out. Like I'll say it.
There's class.
We had a notable hospital that was willing to come in and run a nursing program for our school, and our town said no. Because they wanted to paint the narrative that we were trying to just buy a football stadium. Yeah. Oh, that's $120 million trophy right there.
And there's no. And you know what?
It's $120 million investment into kids.
And there's no arguing with that because they're not listening to learn. They're just listening to prove their own point. And
I'll argue it.
All that being said, look,
I'll be someone to argue it. I know that's not the point of this episode.
No,
that's not the point.
And we digress a little bit, and we're going to dive in here in just a second. It was a tough loss. I think that we'll lick our wounds. We'll learn. We'll grow.
Get better. Yeah.
We're going to come back.
Short
better.
Week.
It is a short week. It's going to be interesting to watch. How that kind of unfolds in front of us.
Yeah.
For us.
Yeah.
As well as the team.
Yep. But like you said, before we get ahead, because we'll talk a little bit during the outro about next week.
Sure.
So before we get ahead, let's go ahead and jump into our offense.
Let's do it.
At Farmers Bank and Trust, we offer banking solutions to help you through any season of life. From no-fee checking to our mobile app for easy on-the-go banking. From instant issue, tap-to-pay debit cards to Click Switch, used to quickly, securely transition automated payments and direct deposits from one account to another. And much more. For your family, for your business, come home to Farmers Bank and Trust.
All right. Well, listen, I got to mention his name last week, so why don't you start with him this week, and let's get you rolling because I got to kind of bring in the stats last week. He still had a pretty decent game last night, all things considered, for sure.
All things considered, it's so easy to be hypercritical, and I am. Look, off camera, I'm hypercritical. Like there's no getting around it. But 4 stickers for Zai, right?
Yeah.
Zai came. I think he came to play. I know there's a lot of things he's looking back on and being like, dang, but if you're a competitor, you're always going to do that. So that is what it is.
Yeah.
Right. Have those moments, learn from them, grow, get better, get stronger. I think for us, one of the things we talk about is that there's a lot of timing issues going on.
Just a yard and a half too long here, or a second and a half too late there, and there could be a lot of issues to that.
Yeah.
Whether
who knows?
Whether it's blocking. Whether it's, hey, how are they running? How hard are they running in practice?
Yeah, what's happening in practice?
Whether it's just reading the defense right there. Maybe Melissa threw a couple different things at it, but like you said, there's multitude of reasons.
But 17 for 30 on the night.
Sure.
247 yards passing. A massive play of 67 yards
on fourth down.
On a really critical fourth down moment.
Basically fourth in the game with about 4 minutes, 3.5 minutes to go, something like that.
And it was a must-have, and it was a great play. Like, big congratulations. Like, there's moments where you look at this and you see, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's there.
Okay.
It's there.
But then on top of all that passing, he had 14 carries for 74 yards, 2 touchdowns, and had a long run of, almost 50 yards, 46 yards. Yeah. It was a pretty good performance by all rights. Like, that's a That's a great stat line.
I may have gotten pretty excited on the broadcast on that first touchdown run, the 46-yarder.
I looked up. I saw you.
He did a little whoop. He kind of teleported to the left, and dude was gone.
You had a little Chris Berman in you.
Whoop whoop. I may have said that young man lost his shoes and needed to pick up his jockstrap off the field.
Oh no! Little classic ESPN.
Just
there
it was kind of that throwback ESPN, and that was a great run by Zai, and he really did. And we walk away saying it could have been bigger.
Yeah,
and Zai will walk away saying it could have been bigger, and yet he's still going to walk away with 4 stickers, like you said. He made the big plays in those moments when he needed to make them, and there were some moments where the offensive line will go back and look and say, man, we could have given him more time here.
Yeah,
we could have given him more time there. And ultimately, like I think some of what did our offense in is dead ball penalties. False starts, illegal formations, things like that, where, we've got the ball for a 2nd and 8, and we have an illegal formation, and we kind of never recovered on that last drive, where it kind of was like we got a completion to Cormond almost right off the rip, and it was like, oh, here we go. Yeah. We're moving.
Yeah, and then maybe a little bit of just, missed assignments. Yeah. Holes, gaps that just didn't get filled, or it was. I made the mistake, and I talked about this before. I made the mistake of going back and watching all the clips, and you guys don't know, we record every single play. We have to go through and highlight and edit different
minimum
clips.
One angle. Like ideally, we have 2 angles.
Ideally, we get an angle
play
on both sides, right, of the ball. But it was tough, man. It was hard, and I know for these coaches. Probably today they are, maybe even last night. I don't know. They may just wanted to go to bed at the end of the night last night, but maybe even today they're looking at film and they're looking at some stuff and being like, oh, this is what's going on here. This is what's happening here, and they know that. And I trust that because that's what they're paid to do. So they're going to get right.
Coach Rigg knows the O-line far better than I will ever know the O-line. I could spend the rest of my day studying offensive line philosophy. And Coach Rigg, who played at Missouri, correct?
Yep.
Division I offensive lineman, our offensive coordinator. Like he's going to know how to fix how to shore up some of those holes far quicker. He probably watched like 2 seconds of film and was like, oh yeah, I know it. All right, here we go.
He can tell you about like specific plays from like 1982. Like he's a walking Rolodex.
Should we just start asking him about like 1982 plays on the coaches show? I think maybe that's we just change gears.
That might be more entertaining. He might have more fun with that.
Yeah. Past classic games with Coach Rigg. That'll be that next session.
Well, so Zai got 4.
Yeah, Zai walked away with 4. He had a good game. We're all going to say, hey, this isn't the peak Zai game. That's okay. That's okay. He's gonna walk away with 4 stickers. Number 7, Ace Trailer's the next guy up.
Let's go.
He didn't end up catching the ball as much. We kind of spread the ball around and targeted a couple other guys like Keyshawn and Michael Kennedy got a lot of targets last night, and so a lot of attention was paid towards Ace during the game. But he's gonna come away with 2 stickers. Ace, you had 15 carries for 63 yards and those 2 touchdowns. Those were both big touchdowns. I think it was our second touchdown of the game, and then our last touchdown of the game, if I'm not mistaken, are the ones that Ace got. But both of them came in timely places. And once again, we just see Ace willing to go anywhere on the field and do anything. I think some of the reasons he's not running out on routes, especially when he was in the backfield, is because he was helping pick up extra blockers. And that was one of the biggest things as I was watching Ace, is his willingness to take on blitzing linebackers and D linemen. Like that's not a task that receivers normally have. Right, and that's what Ace's position has predominantly been, and now he finds himself in the backfield, and the dude just is willing to do anything and everything to win. He's Chumley-esque in that manner.
Yeah, for
Where
sure.
Chumley was going to do anything to win, I feel like Ace will do anything to win a football game, including picking up blitzers. And man, he was actually pretty good in pass pro.
Yeah, and look, it's the reason why we get to talk about the next kid in the way we get to, is because Zai was able to be protected especially from a guy like Ace, right? Ace shined in that regard. So I'm gonna roll into him.
Yeah,
it's a nice segue,
ahead.
Right?
Yes.
Number 6, Keyshawn Miles. This is a hooper. Right, this guy loves the hardwood, and here he is out in grass or turf, and he just. An incredible night. It's hard in a loss to recognize. It's not hard in a loss to recognize it, but it's easy to get lost if you're not paying attention.
Sure.
And that's why we do what we do. 8 receptions.
By the way, 8 receptions on 9 targets.
9 targets.
The only one he didn't catch was that double coverage on that 4th down play where I think he's going to walk away saying, I could have had that ball.
I think he will too. Yep. I think he looks back at that and says, I could have had that. It was right here.
Yeah, 8 receptions on 9 targets. That's just impressive. Ball went his way, and he was like, I'm going to catch it.
8 receptions, 9 targets for 190 yards.
Go ahead. Yeah, keep going.
190 yards, a long of 67, an average of 23.8 per reception. Come on, bro.
Man, this is exciting.
This is cheat code.
This is where like we walk away from a game, and yes, it was a loss, and you're like, oh, I hate to lose, but you walk away from a game, and you're like, we've discovered something.
Bro, he's a cheat code.
We've discovered something.
He is a walking cheat code. Feed him.
He's 6'3", 6'4".
And they did. I'm not saying you didn't. I'm just, but yes, feed the guy. Like
6'3", 6'4", like can dunk a basketball with pretty much ease.
Yep.
I was talking to him after the game. I remember him he was at Rock Hill for the last couple of years, and his family moved over here to Anna, and played solely basketball. Oklahoma to Rock Hill for 2 years. And I had them in a playoff game, and I was talking about that a couple of years ago. And I was like, Key, I knew you looked familiar when I saw you. I was like, but where do I spot him from? And it was that. But the dude he's just an athlete. And I think my favorite moment, I looked at him, I went up to him after the game and kind of dapped him up, and I was like, Key, 8 for 190, bro. And he was like, is that good? I was like, Key. I was like, Keyshawn, that's phenomenal, bro. I was like, 80, 90 yards in the game is awesome. 100 yards in the game is excellent. 150 is unheard of. To get 190, bro.
Like, I called you a cheat code. Come on.
But that's part of what I love. And that's the scary part. He's still learning the game,
right?
And just the humility of him. Like, and he wasn't saying that as like he wanted me to like dote on him more in that moment.
Yeah.
It was like he was legitimately
that's
like
not that kid.
He was legitimately just like, oh, is that good?
Yeah. Look, kids in sports get such a bad rap.
Yeah.
Right. And maybe it's because they play a sport or whatever. But the reality is, like, there is such a genuineness to him as an athlete. Look, if you get a chance to get close to some of these kids, I mean, look, we've just talked about 3 of some of the most incredible humans on the planet, and as they grow up to become men, it's going to be amazing to watch them. I mean, Zyandre Williams, Ace Traylor, Keyshawn Miles, and I've got a little bonus here that we don't have in our script.
Go ahead. You're always allowed to throw bonus.
There was a play, and it was a pass to Rowan. And it was on the west sideline, our home sideline, and it was out, and he had his back completely turned to our sideline, makes this catch, and has the presence of mind to kind of like extend his body to tap his toes inbounds, and takes an absolute shot, just an absolute shot. Like, and it looked worse because of the way he extended himself to get his toes down, but pops right back up and gets right back at it. It's not like a sticker play or anything, but to me it was in my head, just because that's the kind of selflessness some of these guys are demonstrating. There is a selflessness that is evident in this team, and if you look for it, you'll find it. It's there, and I think it's the foundation for greatness.
Yeah.
Personally, I think that kind of play, that kind of sacrifice, that kind of stuff is the foundation for greatness. And I think you've got Zy. I think you've got Ace. I think you got a guy like Rowan for sure, right?
Sure.
There's a host of guys I've seen it come out of in the trenches, right? And I can't name them all, but we just talked about 3 guys who all I think are starting to get like, this is a part of this. Yeah. Right, this selflessness is a part of this. I don't know if selfless is a word to describe what Keyshawn did. He was selfish with that ball. When it come around, he would scoop it in, scoop it up. Now, I will say this: young man took a hit.
Hey,
big one.
That was. I'll say his name. That was an impressive hit by Rocky Dunn.
Yeah,
it was from Melissa. There's a reason he's going to Boise State. There's a reason he's committed to D1 football.
Yeah.
To Keyshawn's credit, he kind of popped up and.
Oh yeah.
And was like, okay, I'm ready to go. We went with a heavy set formation, so they took him out after that play. But that was a big reception too. Right? We talked about that was 4th down in the game. The play ended up with 2:16 left.
Yeah.
When he went out of bounds, I think at the 2 or 3 yard line, and that was 4th down in the game. And Keyshawn makes that play, and he took a hit, but he popped up.
And I think I have that one on.
I'm
on
sure you
video.
do. It was down by you.
It was right there. Yeah.
I looked at that play, that hit, and I looked to see where you were from the press box, and I was like, I know Phil got it.
Yeah, there's another guy down there doing video, and I looked and I said, unfortunately, I think I got that whole thing. But to Key's credit, like afterwards, he's like, I learned. I know what I got to do now.
Head on a swivel.
Like he goes, I know what I got to do now. You know, one move, that whole situation would have changed, and good for him. Like that's a dog coming out in this kid, right? Okay. I took a big hit, took a big lick. That's football. Got back up, and I learned.
Well,
I grew.
Yeah, if last week against Lovejoy with Keyshawn's first touchdown was kind of an introduction, this might have been a little bit of a coming out party.
Yeah.
And if this is the start of a coming out party for Keyshawn Miles, count me in.
Look,
I check me down as yes, attending this party plus one.
My RSVP. Look, it was, and against good competition, I expect nothing less from Keyshawn going forward. He's got a good head, great physical ability. I think he's going to find tremendous success the rest of the season. I think this is waking up a sleeping giant, and I cannot wait to see what happens as a result of that.
100%.
So should we transition?
Yeah, that was the offense.
Let's hit a little bit of our defense.
At Farmers Bank and Trust, we offer banking solutions to help you through any season of life, from no-fee checking to our mobile app for easy on-the-go banking. From instant issue, tap-to-pay debit cards, to click switch, used to quickly, securely transition automated payments and direct deposits from one account to another, and much more. For your family, for your business, come home to Farmers Bank and Trust.
We're back with defense.
Yeah, we are.
Here we go. I'm going to go right out and say it. It's hard to talk about defense in a loss, but that doesn't mean they didn't make plays, right?
Yeah.
The guys still made plays through the game. There's still things to talk about. It's still highlights.
100%.
There's still important people to point out. So, yes, we've got some defensive stats that we're going to cover. Look, it's like any other part or phase of the ball right now, phase of the game.
By the way, real quick, shout out to Peyton and Kyle and Eric for helping get us stats. This has kind of been a season-long thing where, like, hey, we want to get the show out earlier in the week. We want to get it out before Tuesday comes or Monday comes. Like, we want to get it out on the weekend where, you got some dead time in between some football games on Sunday
night. Yeah.
Might as well come watch the Kyle recap the stat show. And so shout out to them for these stats and helping us get this done. Yeah.
And subscribe. But yeah, that's good. And then I guess I'm going to throw one more since we're sending Coyote Football Network accolades. Josh Wright.
Yeah,
Our editor.
Editor-in-chief. Hey, Josh, you can put your picture right here sitting between us right now if you want.
Right here?
Right here. Josh, it's right here.
Create a shelf for
right
you
here.
to sit on.
Josh's picture should be on the screen right now. And if
he won't do it.
If it's not,
he won't do it.
Just don't forget who.
That's
who
why I
holds,
put my hand down.
Don't forget who holds the paycheck.
Because we're all making so much money. Like nothing. Anyway, look, defense, our stats are tackles, and you're looking at pass breakups and forced fumbles, and you're looking at sacks and tackles for loss, and those are the things that we look for in this category. Izzy Johnson, number one, is going to start us off. He had a tackle on the night and a pass breakup. You're going to get a sticker for your performance here. And I think that there's so much more. Izzy's got a chip on his shoulder. Mm-hmm. I like that. I think there's a value to that. But there's also a value to understanding who you are and knowing who you are, knowing what you're capable of. And, there's a fine line between, always playing with a prove it kind of mentality versus a mentality that says, I know who I am and I know what I'm capable of. Right. So balancing that is tough. I like this kid a lot. I've always liked him. And I expect that this week will be a bounce back game for him. Yeah. In some ways, he was kind of quiet on the defensive side compared to some other weeks, but that's okay. There are those weeks that those are going to happen. So Izzy, one sticker with a tackle and a pass breakup.
Yeah. So our next guy, number 11, Jaden Parker. You're gonna walk away with 2 stickers, brother. You had 8 total tackles to lead our team on the night. Still, he continues to fly around and hit harder and harder every single week. And so keep going, brother. Keep leading and motivating that unit and kind of being the one of the engines that hums in there. But 8 total tackles, leading on the team, and then you had that big fumble recovery.
Massive.
That was huge. It gave us a chance to
as he's sliding out of bounds.
Yeah,
perfect timing.
Yeah, it gave us a chance to kind of go into halftime in the right way, and so huge recovery by Jaden Parker. A really, really solid game overall. Kind of you said it with Izzy. Almost felt ho-hum for what we've come to expect from Jaden Parker.
Yeah.
But he continues to just, wherever he is on the field, he's a force and a problem. And like, there was never a time when he was out there on the defensive side of the ball that they weren't aware of where he was. And they weren't accounting for where he might rush or where he might go from Melissa's side of the ball. And so Jaden Parker, you're walking away with 2 stickers after being our leading tackler and that fumble recovery on the evening.
Pretty amazing. Second for us on tackles is Ryan Sasumi, number 15. He's going to get 3 stickers, 7 tackles on the night, a tackle for a loss, and a hurry on the quarterback. Ryan found himself in position all night long.
Mm-hmm.
In position. I think his stat line, I think he could have led this team based on where he was on the field and how often he was there on the field. Ryan is unlocking levels, right?
Yes.
As we watch, he's unlocking new levels. He came back bigger, faster, stronger. Did a lot of hard work in the offseason, right? He came back more violent, more aggressive.
Yeah.
And I think he's just reached another, and he just keeps unlocking levels as the season goes on. I think Jaden is the same way, right? I think Jaden is still unlocking levels. He's experiencing a new brand of football in Texas.
Yeah,
and it is what it is. It's different. And Ryan is right there. Ryan, look, this kid is the entire package when it comes to student athlete. Super smart. Highly self-motivated. Like, he's a self-motivated kind of kid.
Sure.
He doesn't have to have all the other stuff. He's got a high motor. Like, the kid just works and he just gets stuff done. Second on the team with 7 tackles, the tackle for loss, the hurry, that it's all indicative to the hard work and determination he's kind of put out there. That's coming back to him. All that hard work, all that determination, all that effort is coming back, and there's a reason he's getting 3 stickers.
Yeah,
so.
and I kind of like what you said, and I think this is true for our team. They're unlocking new levels, finding out new things about themselves, and that's all part of this early season process. Another guy, our next guy is number 17, Josiah Smith. Mr. JoJo is going to walk away with 1 sticker on the night. You were 3rd on the team with 6 total tackles, and man, he delivered some hard hits. Some really, really punishing hits. And he was one of the guys I talked to after the game and was like, JoJo, go be one of the leaders, right? Go be one of the leaders that pushes this defense forward and says, all right, guys, let's go be dogs the rest of the way. Like, let's let this motivate us and say, hey, we're not going to let anybody run on us anymore like that. We're not going to let anybody kind of come into our home turf. We're not going to let anybody do anything like that again, to truly live into some of the monikers that we've started to put on this defense.
Yep.
Right? And some of the expectations. There's a reason why we walk away and say, man, they scored more points than we expected. It's because this defense has reached another level of expectation. Right, we don't expect the 60 point give ups or the 50 point games anymore. This is a defense where we're like, hey, man, you guys are good enough to not allow more than a touchdown a quarter. Period.
Yeah.
To these to really good offenses, and JoJo is part of that. And so you're going to walk away with a sticker on the night. Continue to be one of the top tacklers on the team from the safety position, and so he's another guy where, man, I think he's going to just put his head down after this one and just get to work and just say, all right. Let's go back. Let's get dirty with it. Yeah. Let's be dogs and let's fight moving forward. And so JoJo, you're gonna walk away with that sticker on the night.
Yeah, you respond like that. There's no reason why we're not at the top of the district at the end of the year.
Yeah,
at the end of this year, you keep responding like that, and you'll find yourselves. Look, I think competition is there. Last night was pretty even. All said and done, I think the competition level is pretty even. Yep. So it's going to come down to some intangibles, right, moving forward. And I think
100%.
JoJo's the kind of guy that can help call out that intangible in other people. So this guy had some intangibles. Number 30, Brennan Williams. For all that we say about guys being smart, this guy understands what's being done on the field, and he puts himself in positions every single game to do something great for the team. 5 total tackles. It makes him 4th on the team. He's not getting a sticker for that, but he does get a sticker for the sack.
Yes,
that
was a big sack too.
It was, and well, in a perfect place. The disruptions are critical. It sets us up for something that we desperately need. We needed a stop. There were several third down plays, 3rd and long, where they were converting, and our defense desperately needed a stop. And when you get guys that step in and can get a sack or can do something like that to create those 3rd and longs, or to tighten up the game script, so it gets a little bit more predictable what's going to happen. It's big, and Brennan stepped up, man. He did a great job.
He did. Next guy, number 33, Bassett Addison. We said his name a couple of times this season.
Yep.
He's a younger player for us. He's going to get 1 sticker. Bassett, you get 1 sticker on the night. The tackle for a loss. And once again, thank you to Coach Severe for confirming his name before a show a couple of weeks ago with me.
We just want to do right by you, Bassett. That's all.
I texted him and I was like, I need to know how to say this kid's name. I don't want to screw it up. Like, he's performing well. Bassett came in. I think it was Austin Crowley's shoe on a play got ripped off. And by the way, Austin Crowley was one of those guys that was tied for 4th on the team with 5 tackles. And anyways, Bassett came in on and basically immediately got a tackle and a tackle for a loss there. And so Bassett, you're going to walk away with a sticker, continuing to come in and perform well. And it's nice to know that we've got some depth over there at the linebacker position as our linebacking core continues to get healthy and grow together. To know that we have another guy like Bassett and waiting in the wings is really, really nice to have.
Yeah, for sure. And that depth is important, especially as you get further and further into the season. So I'm going to talk about Bryson Bardroff. We had him.
Bryson Bardroff,
yeah.
Yep. By the way, confirming for all of it, Coach Rod May looked at me and was like, why have you been letting us call you Bardroff for 4 years?
For the record, I did not.
No, you didn't. But that was Coach Rod's response to Bardroff when we were confirming his name before the interview.
I don't often get stuff right, so I'm going to take this one. I'm going to take a win on this one.
It was just funny how Coach Rod was kind of miffed at that, and he's like, well, I don't really care, but now that I'm being interviewed, my mama will care. And
that's right.
I was like, dude, Bryson, that's great.
Smart kid. Smart kid, Bryson.
Keep mama happy.
You keep mama happy. There's nothing wrong with that. Look, Bryson, you're gonna get a sticker on the night. You had a tackle that was also the forced fumble, right? And that's the one that Jaden ends up falling on as he's sliding out of bounds. And so a big play, momentum changer.
Yeah.
Desperately needed. You were a playmaker at the right place, right time, right moment. We desperately needed that. So, Bryson, hats off to you, bud. A sticker coming your direction just for that extra effort play there.
Yeah, he's another one of those guys that talked about how he put on about 20, 25 pounds of muscle in the offseason. And he's like, yeah, it didn't show up in my belly. And
then he looks at me.
I think you and I both kind of like peeked down. We're like, yeah, we put on 25 pounds in an offseason. It's all going to be in the belly, brother.
Bro looked at my belly, though, like when he did it. Like, okay, that's why I don't do on-camera interviews anymore. That's
It's only me from this point forward.
It's Bryce's fault.
Love it. I was super cool to see that kid make that big play last night. And then our last guy on the defensive end, we're going to talk about the soul snatcher. Number 90, Caden Banks. You're going to walk away with 1 sticker. You had 5 total tackles on the evening. There were quite a few tackles where you of your 5 that were like right at the line of scrimmage, where you met Bear or you met Holloway right at the line of scrimmage, and we're able to stop him for no gain or maybe a 1-yard gain, and like those are big plays for our defense.
Yeah.
So 5 total tackles on the evening, but you're going to get your sticker because you had that QB hurry where you and Sasumi both get into the backfield on a big 3rd down play and force Holloway to roll out to the right and just kind of throw it away. I think it was 3rd, maybe it was a 2nd and long. Either way, kind of forced them into a bad spot where I think we ended up they punted the ball to us after that. But Caden Banks getting that QB hurry, and like he's another dude. He's going to find his final form again.
Yeah.
Man, he worked his way into that final form last season, got better as the season went along. He kind of came this season with the expectation of the level that he finished last season, and now my expectation is, all right, what steps are you going to take forward? And so, Caden Banks, I know you're going to take steps forward, brother. Like, I know it's in there. I can't wait to see you unlock it over the coming weeks so that by the time end of district and playoffs roll around, you're like, we got to find a name that's more punishing than the Soul Snatcher?
I don't know how much more punishing that name can get. I mean, he's snatching souls.
Make us find it, Caden. Make us find it. That's your challenge. Make us find a more punishing name than Soul Snatcher.
There you go,
walking
kid.
away with the sticker on the evening. But with all that said, that's the defensive side of the ball. Let's go to special teams.
Let's do it.
At Farmers Bank and Trust, we offer banking solutions to help you through any season of life, from no-fee checking to our mobile app for easy on-the-go banking. From instant issue, tap-to-pay debit cards, to click switch, used to quickly, securely transition automated payments and direct deposits from one account to another, and much more. For your family, for your business, come home to Farmers Bank and Trust.
All right, well, we're going to start special teams here. We're going to start with our perfect execution on extra points and both of our field goal attempts. Des kind of squeaked that 40-yarder in there, but that was a big one.
I mean, I was down in that end zone when it happened. It's like, dong, and I'm like, oh, please tell me it went through. Please tell me, because I was looking through my viewfinder, through my field monitor, and I couldn't tell. And then the hands went up. I'm like, yes.
It was just good enough. I think that one was from 40, and Des was kind of like, I think Des was miffed himself because he knows that he can hit it from 50, 55.
Right.
But that was still a big field goal after we had second and goal from the 37. I said it on the broadcast. I don't think I certainly my short broadcast career, I've never said a line like that. And I think the only other thing I can think of is the second and goal or third and goal from like the opposite 9, where it was second and goal, 91 yards to go in a college football game this year. I don't know if you saw that, but
yeah,
that was pretty wild. But so our trio of Peyton Miller, Rowan Nylander, and Des, you guys are going to walk away with 2 stickers for perfect execution on extra points and field goals. One for each of those. It's not one for each field goal or one for each extra point. It's the expectation, the standard is perfection there. And so you're going to walk away with those 2 stickers for that trio. So great job on that. Really and truly, I thought the snaps and the holds were really on point this game.
Yeah, for sure.
And then it made it.
That crew executed.
Yeah, it made it to where
well.
all Des had to worry about was just getting through the ball.
Yep.
He didn't have to worry about, I've got to slow down to let the high snap get put down on the ground. Like, he just was able to move in rhythm. So that was a big deal.
That was great. Made those moments much smoother, much easier. Let's talk about Des just a little bit more, because he gets 2 more stickers on the night, and it's the middle dribble, man. It's these onside kicks. He has kind of found a rhythm here with these. We needed it. It was an obvious moment. I think they were expecting it.
We don't get it, the game's over.
Yeah, if it was a must, it was a must do, and he did, and that's huge.
Maybe we have like 15 seconds left to get the ball back.
There's one thing when you try to execute an onside kick when they might not be expecting it, but in that situation, it was fully expected, and Des does an incredible job of wrapping his body kind of around it at the right time and being able to fall on that ball. Perfect kick. I mean, like everything, the entire, it really is poetic to watch those happen.
What was crazy to me is they lined a dude up right in the center of the spot where we were going to middle dribble to. And as Des came forward and kicked the ball, he bailed back 5 yards. And I was just like, I was just watching it. And I was like, huh.
If he would have just stayed his ground, it would have been a different situation. But Des also put a body on a guy. I felt like he did a little box out, had a little basketball in him.
He did. He got to the spot, boxed out, and then saw the ball was coming in and falls on the ground. And like, that's coached. Fall on the ground so that when you recover it, you're already down and nobody can come knock the ball loose.
Right.
So like you said, it once again, second week in a row, great execution of that little middle dribble kick. And now I'm sure they have more onside kicks in their bag than that. And so, Coach Rod's going to be saying like, all right, here comes the next one. And knowing Des, like he can do some things with the football off his foot. That's some of the soccer in him.
Yeah.
But that was cool to see.
A lot of soccer in that kid. And I think we're just seeing the beginning. This is the one that's worked for now. And so I know there's more to deploy.
More
yeah.
100%.
Oh yeah. There's more to deploy. So it'll be fun to watch as that develops.
Yeah. Well, that's our special teams unit. So great job by the trio and Des walking away with 4 total stickers on the evening as well. So that's another big night for Des. But hey, that leads us into we have our first away game of the season.
Yeah.
Are they going to lose power there too?
I tell you what, I can't handle that.
Anybody got an in?
Kirkendall, and that where we're going next week?
Kirkendall, Thursday night kickoff, 7 p.m.
Thursday night at 7. So that's a little different for us. 7:30 kind of tends to be our normal. So be a half hour earlier and all your stuff. We got to do a little traveling.
It's a good stadium. That was the Monsoon Stadium. So I know you don't have fond memories.
No, I do not. I have no fond memories at all.
So hopefully no monsoon this time. That's the definite hope. Otherwise, you'll probably just be up in the booth the entire game with me, and we'll just have a 3-man booth.
It'll be a 3-man team calling the game.
I think we got Tobar on a camera, so we'll tell Tobar just be down there with the GoPro.
That's right.
But no, 7 o'clock next week, Frisco Independence. This is an opportunity for us to kind of get back on the right side of the ledger, and this is going to be a week of, hey, let's get better, let's improve, so let's be there.
Yeah,
Let's be loud.
It's time to come out. Like, look, a hard loss that we can't let down now because it's not over.
Yeah.
We're not out. We're not done. That doesn't just because you have one hard loss doesn't wrap up the whole season. There is still a lot to fight for, and as fans, we have to recognize that too, and we have to still bring the noise. We got to bring the support, bring that encouragement, bring that next level. That's what makes us special.
Sure,
it's what makes us special.
Yes.
And I cannot contrast that enough with this last home game. I just can't. You know, you look at the stands and you look at what was going on, and even though it's a home game, right? Comparatively, I expected a very different scene. I expected a completely different scene.
I expected Melissa side to be packed with all the noisemakers trying to counter what we were doing.
I expected to see people along the fences, packed and trying to see over each other. Yeah, I know our stadium is not as big as yours. We get it. Right? 100%, we get it, but that would not keep me, if I had to stand, that would not keep me from a game.
You and I stood on the side when we were at Salina before we were on the field filming stuff.
I mean, I stand the whole game anyway, but
yes. but that's what I'm saying. Like, we kind of packed the stands in Salina, and so you and I stood off to the side of the fence so we could see the football game.
So we could watch the game.
Because we were happy that it was packed. So like 100% show up. And by the way, do not email them about vuvuzelas.
Just roll. Just roll.
If it doesn't say no on their website, just bring them.
Yeah,
and if they say, hey, you can't bring them in, okay, hey, sorry, it didn't say anything on your website. Let me go put it in my car real quick. No worries. And then use your voice.
We don't have to be jerks about it. Like that's not the point. Just it is if that's their rule when we show up, it's their rule when we show up. But we can let it be the rule when we show up. It doesn't have to be the rule 6 days ahead of time.
We don't have to give them the preemptive ability to change their rule.
Right.
Like every stadium's rules are clearly put on their website.
Yeah,
it's very easy to find them. It's really not hard. And if you can't find it, well, I was gonna say message me, but I don't ever get on Facebook, so you can't really message me. If you have my phone number, you can text me.
He doesn't get on Facebook.
I really don't. Maybe 2 times a month. I was like, oh, did you see I tagged you something on Facebook? Nope. And I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. Maybe twice a month I log on Facebook and then I scroll. That's enough. I'm out of here.
Send him a message on X. Hit him up there. Send a DM on X. That'll get in touch with him a lot easier. But look, it was a hard week, but it's a building week, and I think they're going to come out ready to go. Short week, should be a lot of fun.
Independence on a Thursday night.
Independence on a Thursday night.
Stop at Roadhouse, the official restaurant of the Coyote Football Network, before you go out of town. Yeah. Stop at Roadhouse. Brandy and Brady would love to have you over at Roadhouse.
I'll just say, make sure you got your Farmers Bank and Trust debit card on you, so you can stop and get a little cash or pay for your meal that way. It'll be well worth it. The food, the opportunity to support your Coyotes. We don't get many more of these, so let's make the most of it, guys. Let's get out there. Let's have some fun. Let's go show Independence the Coyote pride that I know we have, that we've seen on display this year.
Well, there you go. I think there's nothing left but to count us out. You ready?
I'm ready. Go Coyotes on 3.
Ready?
1, 2, 3.
Go Coyotes.